trip that we did this summer in June to Helsinki because we have Finnish friends and we basically invited ourselves to their place. So we tried to make it a small trip for people related to VR. Hello. So that's the late organizer number 2. Mario came all the way with a longboard. So we thought that let's do a little trip for professionals, to Finnish professionals, and like let's keep it around 10 people, and yeah, it's gonna be a cozy little trip. Turned out we had about 30 people. It's a big bus full of people, and then we decided to aim for 5 different VR-related companies. Do we have them listed here? Nope. But before I go into detail of what we did there and what we learned, and many people are here also, so they can like interrupt me at any point. But first, let's try to watch this video of like a 2-minute recap, if it works. Words were really important. So that was it. A little 2-hour trip, 2-minute trip. It actually took a whole day. So when we asked the Finnish brothers what are the places to visit, they listed us a bunch of those, and the first one we ended up was Umbra 3D, which is, does anyone know? No, neither did I. But it turns out that if any of you is a developer and working with Unity, you may have used their product anyway. It's this little plugin or algorithm that helps you hide things that are behind other things, to say it simply. So when you're in a virtual world, you don't want to necessarily draw things that are behind this post because I'm not going to see it anyway, so it's a waste of computing power. And so they have solved this issue with some fancy algorithms and systems. So that's what they do mainly, as I understood. Am I correct? It's called, was it occlusion culling? Yeah. So they do this little thing for a bigger thing, and apparently they're very rich. So and what they showed us, which was particularly related to VR, is that they had this tagline that you can take however big of a data set that you have. You can have a whole city scanned in, and you can just, with 2 button clicks, put it inside Unity and then watch it through virtual reality, and it will work flawlessly. I'm not sure how true it was, but they showed the demos where it kind of worked on different headsets. So one of our guys is looking at the EEVR version, which is like really demanding because it's a mobile phone stuck to their head, and it worked, and pretty much the same thing then worked on the better headsets. So it was interesting, definitely useful if it works the way it does, because if anyone who has developed VR things knows how much of your time goes into just optimizing the thing so it runs and ask.
Did they just show a city, or did they also show some other geometries like a forest or something like that?
It was a city, and it was I think it was a Google Earth scan or something.
Okay.
So it was just like so how they solve it is by not showing you things that you don't want to see, and also things that are far away will be much less detailed. But things closer were also quite low detailed. So, but it worked in principle, and it's interesting. And they talked about some of the things that are coming up next. So, Karel, did you like get a preview license for something?
No.
You talked about it, right?
Yes, but I haven't contacted with them.
Mm-hmm. So the guy on the right was that guy who hosted us. He was really really good to us, and that's why we had the coffee cups in the beginning, because he offered coffee. Okay. So, but it was a really like a technical start to the day, and now we also have Ats here who took all the pictures. So, thanks for that. Anything else about Umbra? Those who were there. So they're a big business doing this really specific thing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Say I scan a point cloud of a room. Can I use the Umbra to get a simple model of that room?
I think you have to have the model before, but then Umbra helps you optimize it.
Generate the model from the point cloud first, and then Umbra can optimize it for you.
Alright.
Yes. Good question. So I think then we moved on. Yes, I made some street art. Blue bubbles, very important. And next up was Minefield Games. They had such a small sign that I walked past it easily. Then someone said, "No, it's here." So this is a game studio in Helsinki, and they just in the summer released their first VR game, I think, called Pollen, which is this adventure walking simulator thing on Mars or somewhere. Yeah, so it was interesting to see how the guys who actually work in this entertainment field talk about these things. And we were greeted by Olli, who is like this Finnish version of Madis. In a way, he's running the Finnish VR group called EEVR, so there's a pattern. And doing cool stuff. But I don't have a game company, so it's cooler than me. But he was talking about all the things that they did, how they did this first game for quite a long time, and in the end it wasn't a major success, but they were cool with that, because that wasn't their aim anyway. They're more of like just getting in grips with developing for VR. And since they are developers, they have a lot of different gear, like lying around, and we had all the old Oculus developers kits that were just piled together. That's their sad fate. Luckily, we have one working today also, so if you want to be nostalgic, you can put it on and watch your hands. And also, they had a lot of HTC Vives up there for testing, and also some of us got to try on the PlayStation VR headset that at that point was not released, but now is. So I think it's
not released. It's being released in October.
And why do I see these headlines like 50 days with the PlayStation VR?
Some like
Mm.
Just for that.
So okay, so it's still very exclusive to have it on your head. And those who tried it can say that it did feel very nice. In a way that
The headset itself is actually remarkably good, given that its price is like 400 euros. But PlayStation isn't so good for VR. Maybe the Pro version will make everything better, but recently there was a demo day in Tallinn where they showed us to the journalists. They got to try out some demos, so if anybody wants some impressions, you can ask me later.
I'll ask you now.
Okay, yeah, well, that's pretty much it. That because it has to be on 2 screens and high FPS, then the visual quality of the games drops radically. It's very low polygons and low textures, and looks like a PlayStation 2 game pretty much. But the controllers worked way better than I expected, actually. It was quite good for shooting, not of course as precise as the HTC Vive's controllers, but still pretty good. And tracking and everything was actually better than I expected. So I think developing for PSVR makes a bit more business sense than for Vive and Oculus, because there are a lot of people with PlayStations. So you shouldn't ignore PSVR.
Definitely.
But still, no one has the PlayStation VR kits. So your market currently is 0.
Except that these guys in
although
Finland.
there are a lot of VR.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Well, also in the video, there was a really short clip when you kind of opened one bag and then closed it. That was the body tracking suit perception neuron that he then gave to me to go and take to the other place. So we have very big mutual trusts already with the things. Moving on, if nothing else comes to mind with Minefield games. No? So then we took a long trip to Aalto University, which is close to the city center, somewhat. And there they have this, I don't remember the correct name, but basically a game design lab to make people more active. So they do all these crazy projects led by this crazy thing, such as like jumping on an actual trampoline and then tracking yourself with the Kinect camera and then jumping around the game at the same time. So you have to jump around a lot, or these other projects that you already saw on the video as well. They have a nice tracking space there with fancy cameras and many of these stands lying around. But what was cool was this augmented climbing wall. So the basic idea is that you have a regular climbing wall and then this contraption that tracks the wall and then projects images back to it. So when you climb around, you can play a game basically. So there's a bat flying around here, and then you climb there and smack it. And then it's over there, you climb there and smack it. So
basically connect this to the projector, right?
I think that was the main setup, yes.
I think it was connected, yes.
Yeah.
With some custom algorithms because Kinect is not so good by default to track objects that are close to the wall. It's just everything comes back as a mess. So they had so it was surprisingly fun because they had really gamified that. So basically, one cool thing was that you were climbing around the wall and there was this like electrical fence following you, so you couldn't touch it, or you had to escape all the time. So this made it really interesting. Many of us also tried the same game and failed miserably. I think it was Rain the best, or
Somebody beat it by high score right now.
but it was surprisingly fun, I'd say. And the other cool feature, this is a picture by Rain himself, is that you can then watch live replay of your own climb later. This is not him, this is his shadow, so you can basically compete with yourself or with a friend. So that was really cool. The other things, I don't have pictures, but in the videos there were other things such as their, I think, next project or big project that they got funding is these intelligent ragdolls, like self-aware ragdolls in a way. So you have this virtual character and he tries to stand up, and when you push it, it always tries to stand up. So this is different to typical game development, where you basically have to model all the movements itself. So we basically punched around the ragdoll for 10 minutes. See if you can push him over. Yes. Next, we went to the Fever Hub. So there's not a good comparison from Estonia. I think maybe our lab here is kind of like a hub, but not really. We do have some guys come and develop stuff here, but they have it big. They basically got the funding from the government, quite a nice sum, and then bought a lot of these kits, and then did this like incubator or hub, basically, so you can apply, you do a project, and then you go there, and then you develop the project, and then turn it into a business. So we went and saw how they do stuff. One of the cool inventions they have is this laser blocker right here. It's just a piece of cardboard, but it was needed because when you have many wires at the same place, they will interfere with each other. Yeah, and the guy with the cap is showing, I think, one of these like home design things. Yeah, so that's what they do, and are developing fast. And lastly, we went to this little fun place called Reform Design thing, which is basically a company doing also visualizations and digital training, virtual reality content stuff. They also gave us drinks and snacks and showed what they have been doing, and were also very hospitality. They were kind to us, but we don't have any pictures. So it was interesting. And now one of the guys is coming in December to Estonia, but I want to talk about that a bit later. Any thoughts on that one? But anyway, it was interesting. And so now I have all the names as well. People who hosted us from Umbra, from Minded Games, Alto, Fever Hub. So anyone who wants to know more about the Fever Hub, write to this Tuomas. He's the goblin over there, that's how he calls himself. And yeah, thanks to Digix, who basically sponsored a lot of this trip and did all the arrangements. And if you want to ask, also we have to thank all the guys who have participated, and yeah, I did something as well there. The end. Questions? Comments?
What is the next one?
I think we talked about it, but I don't remember which country we chose.
Sweden.
Sweden. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Maybe. So yeah, it was a great success, I think. So let's see if it's like an every summer event, or twice a year, or once every 5 years. Maybe if they are coming now in Estonia, do we have enough things to show them? We might. But yeah, anyway, it was a good like first try, and I think we should do more. Great. So we got that out of the way.